I've been wanting to really understand and do a film on Space Force. I've always believed that space was demilitarized, but these days I think I've got it a bit wrong. So why has the US invested in a new branch of the military? Army, Navy, Air Force, and Space Force? That's a very interesting question. I really didn't understand until I saw this guy, retired General Stephen Kwast. Stephen Kwast gave this talk that he passionately believes that America now really does need a Space Force, and this is what he said.
But the reason space is so powerful is not that it's just has a military application like a machine gun. It's because it will transform the four major engines of economic growth that have been consistent throughout mankind: transportation, information, manufacturing, and probably most important, the ability to deliver that transportation and information with energy.
He believes that China are overtaking the new high ground of space with economics, military, and communications. And if the US doesn't patrol and protect its own interests, they're going to lose out.
China is our competition. Russia is our competition. They see the power of the economy of space in these four sectors, and they are rushing to that future. And there is no guardian force in America, but there is in China. China has already built the organization and has the strategy and the doctrine, the technology and the builders for their guardian force of space. They are building a navy in space with the equivalent of battleships and destroyers that will be able to maneuver and kill and communicate with dominance.
China has just sent a mission to the dark side of the moon to explore for minerals. We kind of forget that the moon is the size of the continent of Africa and contains billions of tons of raw materials and possibly as much water as the Great Lakes. It is potentially a high-ground military base that could attack our planet. To illustrate and demonstrate the need for a Space Force, he cites Jeff Bezos, who wants to move Amazon off-planet and have dirty manufacturing industries on the moon, in space stations, or on asteroids. Also, as part of his talk, he gave away a few secrets that you will find interesting. Stephen Kwast has spent his entire life as a liaison between military and industry, and he claims that there is an existing technology right now that can send people from East Coast US to Singapore, which he cites, in 39 minutes. That's very interesting.
This technology can be built today with technology that is not developmental, to deliver any human being from any place on planet Earth to any other place in less than an hour.
It's either one of two bits of technology. It's either a ballistic kind of SpaceX type machine, or it's a hyper high Mach number scram drive whatever airplane. I don't know, but he claims that really exists right now and needs protecting. But the main focus of his talk is how we're trapped in existing paradigms, and these are some examples from military history. The first he gave is chilling and so true. While preparing for World War I, the British Army believed their soldiers with their courage and ability would win the day, but totally ignored the Germans' machine guns and their potential use of poison gas. A whole generation of British men were lost. And in World War II, the tank was seen as a support vehicle for the army and troops and not a fighting vehicle on its own. The Sherman tank was so ineffective that its shells bounced off the German Panzer tanks. And in any tank battle, the first wave of the frontal attack of Sherman tanks were lost. Only if sheer numbers of American tanks overwhelmed the Germans were they able to get around the back and exploit a weakness in the German tanks, and they would be destroyed. Going further back to the 14th century, he cites the Ming dynasty, who built the world's largest wooden navy, but when a new dynasty came to power, the new lot scrapped it and sent China back into hundreds of years of their dark ages. But citing a good example, but with dire consequences, when it was learned that Germany was possibly building an atomic weapon, rather than saying they'll never do it and leaving it to chance, the US government, through General Groves, instructed Oppenheimer to build America's first atomic weapon. The rest is history. So General Kwast cites 3 examples of why a Space Force is necessary today. He is saying that potentially China has directed energy weapons which could be focused on the West. He also does not like their control of the 5G phone technology, and he's concerned about Chinese dominance in the power from space, large solar farms directing energy down to the Earth wirelessly. So this was a difficult film to make because it's very hard to illustrate theories or concepts. But if you are an American citizen, tell me in the comments below why you think your new Space Force is important and why it's a good thing or a bad thing. Let's open a discussion because the truth is out there.